Continuing on with the Clone Wars and the Nightsister Witches arc, I hopped on over to the next episode on the list, Season 4, Episode 19, Massacre. Savage Oppress beat Ventress in the last episode. Now Ventress is seeking refuge from the Nightsisters, and that's where this episode opens up. Ventress lands on Dathomir and talks to Mother Talzin. Mother Talzin seems to be trying to convince Ventress to stop pursuing anything having to do with the Sith. She's trying to get her to forget about Dooku and his war. She wants Ventress to fulfill her destiny of becoming a true Nightsister. This is kind of an interesting turn of events. Well, maybe interesting is the wrong word. Surprising, it maybe is a more appropriate term. Talzin seems to be fully 100% into the plan to rip Dooku's goddamn heart out and let Ventress seek out her revenge to her heart's content. And now she's kind of done a 180. But then again, maybe she's just being the mother that's in her title. Come home, my daughter. You are where you belong. Forget about all that troubling stuff. We're here for you. You're home. All that kind of motherly love. A nurturing mother welcoming home her injured child. Maybe that's what she's doing. That makes sense. We cut to Grievous talking to Dooku. Dooku tells Grievous to mount an assault on Dathomir and wipe out the witches. I didn't expect to see Grievous, but I'm honestly excited for him to pop up. He's the strong arm, the muscle, he does the dirty deeds. He's at Dooku's beck and call. I like the idea of this major military force swooping down to eradicate a small group out of nothing more than revenge. We cut to Ventress taking part in a magical ritual. She pledges her loyalty to the Nightsisters. We see a bunch of separatist ships pop out of hyperspace in proximity to Dathomir. I loved the shot of the droid ship zipping overhead as the camera focuses on Ventress. It's chaos. Their relatively small group is about to be overrun. It just seems inevitable. A massive invasion is knocking on their door. So the Nightsisters scatter. Mother Talzin tells them all to prepare. Ventress feels responsible for this invasion, as she should. She says if it wasn't for her, these separatists wouldn't be there. I think seeing so many of her fellow Nightsisters die in this conflict and having that internal struggle of feeling responsible for what's happening will cause Ventress to truly snap. At least that's my prediction. The combat in this episode at first was a little goofy, at least the beginning with a few droids that were slowly walking towards the Nightsisters, and the Nightsisters were firing bow and arrows, and Mother Talzin was shooting lightning from her green bubble boy ball. After that silly stuff, the combat got way more fun. Guerrilla warfare, attacking from the trees, using their knowledge of the terrain to their advantage. Ventress completely annihilating droids left and right, cutting them like butter. And then we hear Grievous tell the droids to send in a defoliator tank into the battle. The defoliator sounds a lot like Agent Orange. I'm not sure if this defoliator in this show is a giant flamethrower or a machine that spreads chemicals. Either way, I have a feeling that this contraption will cause extreme damage to the Nightsisters' home. Grievous seems to be taking on what is known as a scorched earth strategy. Move forward, destroy everything in your path, make the enemy visible, do not allow them to push you back, do not allow them to use cover, prevent them from using anything. In relation to scorched earth policy in the real world, it's a little interesting, and the use of these defoliants and many practices like this have been banned by the Geneva Convention. Article 54 of Protocol 1 under the 1977 Geneva Conventions actually bans the strategy of destroying the food and water supply of the civilian population in an area of conflict. There's a little piece of trivia for you. Anyway, I am curious what the defoliator is gonna do. Is it gonna spray chemicals, or is it gonna be a big ass flamethrower? Either way, I have a feeling whatever it is will piss off the Nightsisters like we've never seen them pissed off before. We cut to Mother Talzin telling some Nightsisters to get a small metallic sphere, and then she opens up like a portal or something, and in that portal, she sees Daka, an elderly Nightsister regarded as the oldest and wisest among them. I like the concept and mystery of this. Is this location in this portal like another dimension? Is it a dimensional hiding place outside of the normal realm of contact? I like that. I like that a lot. It's interesting. I don't know if it'll be further explained or shown, and truthfully, I kind of hope it's not. Anyway, Mother Talzin asks Daka to resurrect some fallen Nightsisters. They need an army of the undead, and Daka begins a chant that will resurrect some Nightsisters, and then we see like zombie Nightsisters pop out of cocoons. The zombies, I'll call them zombies, they're pretty much zombies, are pretty freaky as they screech and sprint, their eyes glowing with green smoke, decayed bodies running where they're needed, just full out sprinting. We cut to the battle. The Separatists fire the defoliator, which seems to be kind of like napalm, I suppose. A giant wall of fire appears and begins to destroy anything in its moving path. We see a bunch of droids fighting a bunch of zombies while the Nightsisters continue their defense. Ventress jumps in a Separatist tank and begins to go on the offensive. So the Nightsisters bring Mother Talzin the metallic orb she requested, and inside is a lock of Dooku's hair? This arc just gets stranger and stranger to me. I mean, there's a lot of it that I really like, and then some of it is just like, okay. Magic potion, zombie Nightsisters, a voodoo doll. I honestly still don't know if I like all this kind of stuff or not. On my goofy graph, it leans a little into the red. Mother Talzin begins this ritual with a Dooku voodoo doll, and Dooku begins to writhe in pain. Ventress and her army of the dead meet up with Grievous. Ventress challenges him to a one-on-one fight. Grievous gets bested, and he is knocked down, and of course he doesn't play fair. He tells the droids to kill her. The battle continues, and Ventress retreats into the darkness of the forest. Dooku calls upon Grievous to find and eliminate Mother Talzin. Grievous marches forward. He finds the hidden cave, which I didn't even realize was a cave. Maybe that was obvious earlier. Maybe it slipped me by. I don't know. For whatever reason, I thought it was some ethereal plane, some other dimension, but the portal actually led to a physical place that can only be entered into by magic, apparently. I don't know. There was no visible entrance, unless you did the spell, like Mother Talzin did earlier in the episode. Despite this place not being what I thought, I liked it equally. A hidden place only accessible through the method that Mother Talzin entered. It's like the ultimate hiding spot, the ultimate secret passage. So Grievous blasts a hole in the wall, enters the cave, kills Daka, corners Talzin, but she is able to materialize and escape, I think. At least that's the way it seems. She appears in front of Ventress, and she tells Ventress to follow her own path, and she disappears, and Ventress is alone. And the episode actually ends with Ventress being alone. No allies, no support, she has no home. The episode was almost all action, and it was pretty fun, different, and intense action. But more so than that, what I liked most of all was showing how deep the consequences went. The complete decimation of a population, a civilization, a way of life. I have no idea where the next episode will go, but right now, it looks like the Nightsisters no longer exist, at least from my perspective. I'm sure a few of them survived. I'm sure we'll find that out in the next episode. But it looks like, as of right now, they've been completely defeated. A group that once seemed to kind of keep to themselves, be a little bit of isolationists, and they're now gone. That concept, the idea of an army completely wiping out a civilization, sparing no one and nothing, is extremely evil. The episode does a great job making the audience really despise Grievous. And out of all of this, Ventress feels personally responsible for the downfall. Her vengeance, her rage, her desire for revenge, all of that has gotten everything and everyone that she once knew and supported killed. Her actions led to the destruction of her way of life, her support structure, ancient knowledge even, and her home. There's no doubt that she bears major responsibility for what's happened. She saw red, and in that, she never seemed to recognize the potential disaster. And for that, the consequences of pure rage, I thought this episode was pretty solid. On to the next one. HelloGreedo, out.